welcome to the Stocks Factory. My name is Harold. Most of you know me as Jose. Today we're going to be going over order blocks. And I want you to think of order blocks as large pending limit orders set by institutions. One thing to consider of order blocks is most of the time that these limit orders or large limit orders will be set, they will only hold for limited periods of time. Basically, once they start getting hit and they're depleted, they will no longer hold true. Another thing that we want to consider is this is not going to be the only reason we enter, but it is a very good confluence point in addition to other confluence points that we want to have. We want to have at least 2 or 3 confluence points before we enter or exit. It is important that it's a very good confluence point though. And let's go over the charts and see how I draw my order blocks, which I also call supply and demand. And you guys see on the charts every time that I share it or whatnot, you see these green and red shades, or rectangular shades, and I always keep them in my charts. This is something I always refer back to this. So these are places where more than likely it's going to reject, more than likely it's going to slow down. Remember that the stock market moves in momentum, so it's kind of like the ocean in waves, and there's always going to be a momentum move on this. And every time it reaches these blocks, whether it's a buy or a sell, there's going to be some sort of a momentum slowdown on it. Okay, whether it's a rejection or it's going to consolidate on it. So let's go ahead. Best time frame to get this in is going to be the 1 hour time frame. All right, we're going to be looking at SPY. We're going to see how they react to the order blocks. Okay, what I look for is the wicks. Okay, so I want to look at a drop. So this is very important, right? So I want to see a hard drop and a hard rejection on it. Now the wick it creates is where I'm going to grab the order block from. Okay. So on my indicators or my drawing board, I want to grab the rectangular shades, and I'm going to go ahead and shade this right here. Right, once I shade this, right, I'm going to grab the wick, right? In this scenario, so each scenario is a little bit different, but in this particular scenario, we see this hard rejection down. Let me go ahead and grab this tool. I'm going to drop it right here. So we see this drop, right? And we see this rejection upwards, right? That wick it created, that wick it created, right? It does have a body. I'm going to consider that body part of an order block or demand zone. Okay. Let's go ahead and change this to demand. So I keep these also on save. So I pre-save these. So it says save drawing template as, and I name them. So it's quicker for me to reference them every time I draw them. And I put preset criterias. I don't want to see them on the hourly, dailies, or any of that. I only want to see them on small time frames, so I don't get confused. So let's go ahead and put demand. Once I grab the demand that I want, which I'll bring it up to these wicks as well, I'm going to go ahead and click on this. I go to the little gearbox or the settings. On coordinates, I'm going to go to number 2, and then I'm going to go to bar, right? And I just type in 3,000 or 4,000, I don't know, whatever large number you want. And what it does is it fills it, right? And I just want to fill it so that I don't have to be worrying about extending it or whatnot. It'll be really extended on it. And then just lock it, right? And then we grab it again. That's one order block. So we're only worrying about this swing right here, right? But we have a second swing, right? So it came down again, and then we had a second rejection up. So I want to see these big swings, right? On the swings, I'm only going to consider the wicks, right? So the wick came up to here and here, right? I'm going to grab this right here. Same thing, 3,000, right? So coordinates on the bottom square, we're going to go 3,000. 3,000, 4,000, pick any. I just want to fill it up again. Lock it up. I'm using the same color you know, the green, same color green shade. But do you notice what happened right here? This shade of green changed, right? So that means that more than likely there's going to be a stronger order support right here, right? So if it was to drop, more than likely in this stronger green shade here, that's where we're going to have a good buy zone. Okay. And let's continue going up. So we had a pump, it came down and rejected, and right here I'm going to consider this a buy zone. I'm just going to grab these little wicks right here. Right there. And we'll do the same right here. Why am I considering this one? Because it came up, down, rejected. Right? Same thing right here. Okay, so this is also another one right here. Notice where I'm grabbing them from. Right? Consider what I'm grabbing it. I'm using on some cases some portion of the body, right? And here I'm grabbing this area here. All right, looks about right. Also notice that I'm only considering the outskirts, right? So the outside portion of it, because the inside is already been used. So I'm only considering the outside of this whole entire swing, the big swing. So I'm only considering the outside of it. Okay. Let's grab this one right here. All right, we'll do the same thing on the top, right? So this hasn't been used. This is an order block right here. This is to the sell side though. So I'll switch it back to my supply zone. And that's my supply zone right there, okay? I'm gonna fill the other side for the supply zone. And I'm only gonna fill it so that we back test it, okay? So I just wanna see what happens on the back test, okay? We'll just run the back test. All right, so this was a big wick right here. This is a sell side. Normally I wouldn't do this that I'm doing on this second half. Since I started naming, I'm gonna back test it. Why? Because it's on the inside, it's already been used. This is not 100% accurate, but it is pretty works pretty good. But that's what I'm saying, find other confluence points as well. This should not be the only reason you enter, but it's pretty accurate. Remember, it's one order block per swing, right? I'm going to show you what right now I mean by the swing. So this is one swing. This is one swing right here. Went up. This is another swing here. Went up. This is another swing here. Went up. This is another swing right here. Went up. This is another swing. Up. Another swing. Up. Another swing. Right? Okay. So I want to make sure we know what a swing is. You notice the color shades that we're getting also, some really bright lines. That's where it's going to be focused in, right? So that's where there's going to be a lot of concentrated orders where either selling or buying or whatnot. I'm just going back on this where I normally won't, but I'm going back there just to back test it again, okay? Why is it demand? Is because it's the bottom. But remember also, so once it goes above, demand goes. So once the buyers, right, it goes above, buyers become sellers, sellers become buyers. Okay. Now, and I'll show you some few examples in a minute. And this kind of goes hand in hand with supply, with support and resistance. But instead of being support and resistance, it's kind of in zones. It's I would say this is more accurate because support and resistance is kind of one line. It's a lot of times it breaks it, and that's why they say, "Oh, it's going to be front ran or whatnot." But this is a lot more accurate because you go in the zone and how far into the zone you go. Um, this is more accurate. All right, let's see how each one of them reacted. All right, what I want to see is, and we're gonna break it down. Remember, we don't trade in the hour. The hour is what we used to grab these zones. Let's kind of disregard what green and red was, even though that's how I got it. But remember, the supply becomes demand, demand becomes supply, depending on where we're at, above it or below it. And we're gonna go ahead and just drop it to, I don't know, let's say 5 minutes. Okay, actually, let's drop it at 3 minutes. All right, and let's see how each one reacted. Let's go ahead and change this. This was the swing we grabbed. Start from the beginning. Let's see how each one of them reacts. And let's push back. Remember, I really want to focus on where it gets really bright because that's where it's going to be stronger. Okay, so see how this starts getting respected. Though we grabbed that one very soon. I wanna see when we grabbed very far out and it's being respected nicely. You see this one we grabbed right here, right? It's being respected right here. Right? It's being respected right here. Being respected right here. How far we got this this demand zone right here, or supply zone. Let's see where it's been respected at. Respected right here. Pretty much respected right here. Respected right here. Continue to respect it right here. Respecting it right here. held it for a little bit right here. How far we grab this green one? Grabbed it on the 24th. Let's push it back. See how far we can respect that. Right here. All right, those levels held pretty nicely. Makes a big difference. Makes a better difference than support and resistance to me. I barely use support and resistance. This is what I use instead of support and resistance. You guys can see it makes much more sense. I mean, look at all these levels hold true. And we can go on and on and on about this. It's just, and that's just me not going into detail about the chart. Like I'm just kind of like sketching on this. I'll get that. 3 equal lows. What happens while we're at this? What happens on 3 equal lows? So once we get 3 equal lows, we're most likely going to revisit that area. So 3 equal lows, we go up and we're going to break it right back down. So you always want to mark 3 equal lows, and I'll show you where I have that right now. So what I do is I grab this, right, and I sketch it. While we're at this is another subject. I grab it right here and I put equal lows, EQL, and I mark my equal lows, and I know we're going to break equal lows. And I also mark my equal highs while we're here in the other subject. Let's see where we have equal highs, and I'll show you where we break it. Oh, no, no. All right, we're going out of subject. Let me erase that. But it's not normal to see in the market that we see 2, equal highs or equal lows, much less 3 of them. When we see 3 of them, that we're definitely going to revisit that area. So it becomes a magnet. Not a lot of people teach that, or I haven't seen a lot of people teach that. Right here, you see 2 equal highs. See, we revisited that. That's 412. Yep, right there. 2 equal highs. All right, so you guys got the idea. Remember that once it starts hitting the area too many times, those orders do deplete. Remember that they are basically large pending limit orders from institutions. So keep an eye out for that. If you have questions, let me know in the chat. As we have questions, I'm going to be doing more videos like this. Let me know if you have any suggestions, ideas, subjects that you want me to talk about. And hope that this helps a lot of you out. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.